Hey guys, so I've just started working on a project for one of my mates, and I'm basically building his homepage or his landing page. And I'm just looking at the designs now, and I noticed that I've got to do a responsive slider on, well, a slider on mobile at least, because it doesn't have one on the desktop, if you can see. So I just thought I would do a video and show you guys how I'd go about doing it and see if any of you can learn anything from it. And this is just actually my job. This isn't me just making a video for the sake of it. This is actually a real project. Yeah, so if we just look at the page and we come down here, you can see that they start, like the boxes start touching each other. And the way that I've built it so far is I've used flex. So I've done display flex on the outer container, and then on the inner I've just set a fixed width, and I want to keep the flex like capabilities, and I just want to make this one like full width as I come down, and have these two like off screen, and then be the ability to slide across. And the design also has two arrows. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Maybe I'll go to Stack Overflow or something, because that's what we all do. So just to start off, I'm just going to open up the project, and let's see, where are we? Okay, so the div's called testimonials. I'm going to do a media query. So I'm going to do media, and I do max width. Let's see, what is this? So maybe when it comes to 1065 pixels, or we'll say 1100 pixels, we want to change, no, actually we need to do this on the testimonial first. We can do a width of 100%. No, that doesn't do it. So let's see. And then maybe we need to do shrink. I think it's flex. Is it shrink? Yeah, so we need to do flex shrink 0. That's going to give it like the full width. So I'm not sure why this media query is not working. Okay, it is. And as you can see now on the right, this is like broken. So on the outer container, we just want to do, we can do this by default anyway, overflow hidden. So that's going to hide everything off the side of the page. But when we get past 1100 pixels, we want to do overflow X, scroll, because this is going to allow the user to scroll across. It's quite similar to my last video actually, because I did a video where I did a slider for the, I think it was Uber Eats, was it, or Deliveroo, one of the two, and they sort of had the same sort of slider. But within this testimonial is still too big, so I'll just see if we can just put that width back on. Let's see what happens. No. Okay, what I want to do is inside the testimonials HTML, I'm just going to pull like a wrap. So this is going to allow me to put a max width inside the actual div, the testimonials div. Oops. I need to change this to wrap. And sort this out. Okay, so if we go back to the code, whoops, it's all broken now. Okay, that seems to have just broken on one. So I've clearly messed some of the markup up. I got two divs here. Okay, cool. So we've got that one slideshow showing. And then within testimonials, in the dot wrap, and do the max width of 310 pixels, margin auto. So that's going to bring it in. And yeah, that's cool. So on the main testimonials, I want to do, I think it's snap control. I can't even remember the property now. Scroll snap type. And then I think this takes, just for you guys to see. Oops. I think it takes two parameters, and we want to use X mandatory. So the X is the scroll container snaps to positions in its horizontal axis, and we're scrolling across, so we need the X. We're going to use mandatory less than a snap point if it is currently scrolled. This means that it snaps on the point where when the scroll action is finished. Okay, so if we just oops, scroll too much. So as we scroll across, it should just snap to the start, I think. Scroll snap type. And then we also have to apply it to the testimonial itself. And we need to do scroll snap align. We want to do start. So that means it's going to, as we scroll, if we do like halfway, it's going to snap it to the start of the second one. Let me just change some of this markup. Number 2, number 3. Okay, that's cool. We can also get rid of the scroll bar. We do that by I think it's the WebKit scroll bar display none. Cool, that looks much smoother. And so when we bring it down, we now want to show the arrows left and right. And to do that, I'm just going to get some icons. Oh, actually, I can take them from the design. So if I go back to my design, I think in Illustrator we can just, let's just see if that works. Yeah, I can do Command C, Command V, and it's going to give me the icon in SVG format. So I'll just chevron. And then in the testimonials outer div, let's see, is this the best way of doing it? Let's just do chevron left, and I just want to call that image chevron. We're going to want to rotate, no, we're going to want to rotate the right hand side one. So I'm hoping now that we can position this absolute. Testimonials grid. So on the testimonials, we want to make sure that this is position relative, and the dot chevron is position absolute. Let's add the chevron class before chevron left. I'll just do it after. No, we'll just do it here. Chevron right. So this is going to be the right hand side. And then let's just do top 50%. Top 25%. Let's do width 100 pixels, or let's say 150 pixels, and image width 100%, just so I can see what I'm doing. Then let's bring it down to 70, 40, 30. Let's see the design. I think it needs to be at least 30 for the user to click it. Okay, 25 will do. And I'm going to do and.chevron right, and we can do image, and we can do transform rotate 180 deg. That's going to rotate it around, and let's just do right 0. That's going to bring it out to the right hand side. But of course we don't want to show these at the start, so let's do display none. And then I could put it in this media query here. I could just do dot chevron, but just to keep organized, I'm going to add it here. And do display block. Oops. Okay, that's not right. So these are scrolling with the elements themselves. So what we might want to do is we might want to bring it outside of the testimonials. And let's just wrap testimonials in another div called testimonials outer. And this is something I like to do. I like to just like wrap things, because if you've got like, oh sorry, my Siri's popped up. If you've got like CSS properties assigned to this, and then you wrap it with something else, then we can just put the chevrons here now, and the like rules we've applied to testimonials won't apply to it. So I'll just take this again. I'm just going to do another div, testimonials outer, put the chevron in there, then put this position relative, and let's take the chevrons, put it up here, and now you see they stay in the same place. We also want to Z index these just to bring them above. So if I scroll across, still above. So let's see what's happening. Okay, sorry, we need to, I'm adding the Z index on the outer, so it's not affecting it. We need to add the Z index on the actual chevrons themselves. See, that goes underneath. And it's already looking good. But what we'd want to do now is we want to add the click functionality. So I need to make a, I've already made a JavaScript file actually. And I'm just going to make, no, I'll just write it here so it's easy for you guys to see. I want to make a function to handle the click. Let's just think. So I did if you watch my last video, I did a video on Uber Eats like I mentioned earlier, and I also did the same thing there. So I'm just going to go to my GitHub. This is a new laptop, so I don't have my files on this machine, and I just want to check the JavaScript file that I made, and I want to refresh my memory on how I did it. Okay, so I made a function called handle slider. I took in the listing, then I got the grid, I got the arrows. So I don't need to do this because we've only got one slider grid. So let's start off in a similar manner. We can just we'll do it in this content loaded, because I'm passing this this is a document content loaded listener, and when it loads this function here. I'm doing this so I know that everything on the page is loaded already. I'll just write the code out in here. We just want to get the list, the testimonials. So we can just do const. I'm actually just going to put an ID on here so it's easier to target. And back in the JavaScript, do get document dot get element by ID. We get the testimonial. And oops, let's just check to make sure that the testimonials exist. And I'm using Parcel as a compiler, by the way, so it compiles down my CSS and my JavaScript, and it also reloads automatically when I make any changes. So I'll put a link in the description for that in case you want to have a read through. And that's all we really need to do is the click listeners, because this is always going to be 3 items, or it doesn't really matter if it's 3 or not, but let's just think. The only difference is it doesn't make a difference if it's going to be more or less. We just need to add like the width every single time we click. We need to move it over by like 100%. So we do need to get the width of the page. So let's just do we'd want to do a click function first. So let's just do const arrow left, similar to how I did before. And we call it chevron left. Now we got to do the array 0 because this returns an array and we want to get the first item. And we'll get the right arrow. And then let's just double check that these exist. So if they don't exist, just alert don't exist. Oops, so that's triggering straight away, of course. What am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah, but they're not even in the testimonials grid anymore. So we can actually just change this to testimonials outer, and if that exists, we know testimonials is going to exist as well, and we hope. And then we can do const testimonials equals testimonials outer dot get elements by class name, or we can just do get element by ID testimonials, and let's just put an ID on this as well. Cool. So we now need to change these because they're outside the div, so they exist. And we'll also just add the testimonials here as another additional error check. So if none of these exist, alert, we'd actually want to return. I do this so it doesn't break the code if something's happened where something hasn't been loaded. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to, if we click the arrow left or click the arrow right, we want to move, so scroll this div over, and I think we used the scroll to function. Yeah, we did. So I can do exactly the same again. I can do arrow left, and then we want to do add an event listener. I'm going to do click, and then we want to do a function. We want to pass it through the event. Let's just do e.prevent default. So it's just going to prevent the default behavior on the button. And then it's not even a button, is it? It's just a, I think we just did it as a div, but it shouldn't make a difference. And we want to do testimonials dot scroll to. It takes an object, and let's just say left 0. So if we clicked it, it would just scroll to the left, but obviously we are on the left at the moment. Let's copy this for the right. And let's just do left 1000 and see what happens. Okay, so nothing's happening. So apparently testimonials out there is not a function. Okay, so it definitely exists, otherwise we wouldn't be going in here. Let's console log testimonials. So this doesn't exist. So testimonials out there dot get element by ID. If I change this to document, okay, it works. Oops, I think it's because I should be doing get by class name. I thought I could use get element by ID on it, but we know it's got the same class, so let's just do it like this. So as you can see now, it's clicking it all the way to the last element, and it's not being smooth. So we can just do behavior smooth as a string. Let's do it for you. If we click back now, it should be smooth. That's nice. And I think what we want to do here is we want to get the width of the testimonials. So let's just do testimonials. Because we want to get the width of the outer container so we know how far to move it over. So we need to do a sort of calculation here, I think. Let's just do testimonials dot, is it just dot outer width I used last time? I used offset width. So let's just console log the testimonials to the offset width. And let's just think. Because if we did this now, so only going to add it once, but we need to add it to the past scroll location, if you get me. So it would be 0 here, we add 662, and then we need to add another 662, so it would be 124. So we need to get the scroll left position. Okay, so let's just see. Console log testimonials.scroll left. Okay, boom. What we want to do is we want to do brackets around here because we're doing a calculation. We want to do the scroll left currently plus testimonials offset width. So this is going to be 662 plus 662 on the second one. And yeah, let's see what happens here. Okay, cool, and that's working. So let's just add some, clean the code up a bit. I keep hitting Siri on this new keyboard and it's proper annoying. Okay, so we could actually make this into a function because we're repeating some of the code, but I don't think it's that necessary, because this is quite like lightweight as it is. I would also probably put a cursor on these. So they look clickable. And yeah, that's it. So I just thought I would show you some more insights of my actual day-to-day job and how I conquer things, because I kind of feel like it's two birds, one stone if I'm just recording what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Hopefully you guys learned something out of this. I know it was quite similar to my last video, but yeah, I just couldn't even remember exactly everything I did in my last video, so I thought it would be quite good to do. If you like this content and you want to see more, please feel free to hit subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you.